Let's get it.
All right. What up, world? It's your boy Jeff, aka Cool Boy Jeff, right here. That's the only place you can find a wave. It's the Wave 804. And I got one of my dearest friends, man, to be on here today. He is definitely a motivator, man. He gave me so many gems in the past. We did an interview a long time ago. So it'll be an honor to go ahead and catch up with my boy Josh, man, the main photographer. Everybody requested, his work. He got a great work ethic. Portfolio is amazing. Josh, man, go ahead and let them know who you is, my guy.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate it, Jeff. So, like you said, my name is Josh Cannon, owner of Candid Productions. I am a photography, videography, all-purpose media and productions company based out of the Richmond area.
So, Josh, man, again, can you please let everybody know how long you've been doing this photography and being in the business and industry real fast?
So, as of 2024, this makes 6 years that I've been a photographer.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about, my brother. So, yeah, man. So, in the last interview, we discussed again the origins of your business, the ins and outs and stuff like that. And then now moving into 2024, man, you still doing your thing. As far as you looking at the last couple years and now you entering this year, what is something that has been like your main focus? And can you elaborate what that focus is that you've been working so passionately on?
So, my main focus as of this year and moving forward with my business has been to compartmentalize, meaning that, like, being that my business is titled as Candid Productions, I don't want it to just be a photography business. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, I want people to be able to come to me for their photo needs, their video needs as well. And when it comes to promoting that business, like, I've been dividing it up. So my main page, Candid Productions, is more so for the boudoir type stuff. But I've also separated it to be able to have like my branding work as well. So that's on a separate page. And that one is Candid Branding. So I guess my focus for this year has mainly been to just divide and be able to speak to different audiences, being that I feel like I have a high expertise in different areas. But like when it comes to promoting your business, you don't want people to see you as a one-stop shop. Like if you were to post and say, I do weddings, I do birthday pictures, I do maternity pictures, I do boudoir, I do headshots, then people aren't really going to see you as a professional or an expert in your field. So what I always say, and I tell a lot of people, is to pick one or two and like really focus on those two, get really good at those, and really separate those two. So that's kind of what I've been working on with my business, as well as the education side. So teaching other photographers how to be better with their craft, teaching them the marketing side, and teaching models, like teaching them how to pose and navigate through photo shoots, talking to different photographers and stuff like that.
All right. So, man, it sounds like you have a lot of stuff on your plate that's what you've been doing, and you've been executing a whole lot well. What is the most another major thing that you have to really do? Because again, like with your brand, you have to stay organized as possible. What are certain ways that you do or use to be able to help you stay up to par with everything?
The biggest thing that I can say is I write everything down, because I'm not the best when it comes to remembering things. So I try to always write it down, like multiple places. So it'll be in my phone, in my calendar. It'll be on my whiteboard that's like right by my desk, so I can like constantly see it. So when I have upcoming shoots or ideas and stuff that I want to execute, I'll write those things down. Also, as a photographer, it is important to have a client management system of some sort. Even if you're just getting started, it's going to definitely help a whole lot. So honestly, it helps more than just being a photographer. If you're a makeup artist, hairstylist, anything where you have a service-based business, you want to have something that can be your home base outside of your website. So where you're taking your bookings, where you're scheduling your meetings, how you're taking invoices, how you're sending out contracts. So what I currently use is Honeybook, and it really helps me with staying on track and staying organized. And on top of Honeybook, with everything going on with AI, I've been kind of dabbling a little bit in the AI realm, you know what I'm saying? Like with virtual assisting and things like that. And it's almost like you can have like a personal assistant, even if you don't have somebody that you can hire, and just have something in your back pocket in your phone.
And what are these two apps again?
So the main one that I use is Honeybook, and that's for my bookings, sending out my contracts, sending out my lead forms, scheduling meeting, like how we're talking right now. Like if I need to schedule a meeting, they know the time blocks. So it's not like a back and forth of, what does 2 p.m. work? What about 5? What about tomorrow? What about the 27th? So like if I give them the dates that I have available, it makes it very easy for me to be able to move forward from there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then on the AI side, I use AI Genie. It's something that's kind of new. It just came out. So like, from Chat GPT, like literally there's so many AI platforms out there now, and they specialize in a little bit of everything. So no matter what it is you're looking for, you can find some type of app, some type of software. And the AI Genie, the one I was talking about, it helps me to have a like kind of like a virtual assistant in my phone. So it's linked to my calendars, it's linked to my emails. So you kind of train it to talk like you, sound like you, and also remind you of things. So that's what I use AI for currently. And then of course, every once in a while I use Chat GPT just to spark some ideas when it comes to photo shoot concepts or a marketing campaign and things like that. So I think AI has been a great asset to business owners and stuff if you use it the right way.
So I may have to check out some AI stuff, man, because I ain't gonna say I'm behind because I know what AI is, but I was kind of, nervous based on what AI can be used for. Like people can use it to call people and say, "Hey, I need your help" and stuff like that. But I never knew that business people really took it seriously like that. So I may have to look a little bit more into it.
Yeah, man. A lot of people are using AI because like you can use it to write scripts, you can use it to do just a little bit of everything. And I know it's like the fear factor of it coming out and people not being used to it. You gotta think about like our grandparents, right?
Mhm.
When the internet came out, they're like, "What is this magic box?" You can ask it questions and it just does stuff. They were just as skeptical. Or when Wi-Fi came out, saying going from dial-up to Wi-Fi or going from a landline to a cell phone. So it's just like technology advances, and I just feel like once you keep up with it, if you use it the right way, it can help you out as long as you're willing to be adaptable.
Mm. I like that, man. So next thing I want to be able to ask you about, the last time we also we spoke about, what I'm saying, the pros and cons of dealing with people when you're taking pictures and stuff like that. Now moving into 2024 again, how has that been for you lately? Has it been more on the up and up, like you actually see the right people to shoot with and stuff like that? Or it's kind of like a here and there situation where you kind of got to deal with those type of situations too.
So when it comes to owning a business compared to doing something as a hobby, you're always going to have your really great clients and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
have those really bad clients and you're going to have somebody that's somewhere in between. So it's just like, it's not that the people have changed. It's just like I've gotten better at being able to communicate what I need to be able to get the best out of the situation. So if it's a great client, what I'm saying? They'll, pay the deposit, they'll send a retainer, sign a contract, no problem at all. But then like you can have a client that you think is going to be amazing, and then maybe like 2 weeks in or a day out or a couple of days after, they give you a whole different person. So like you didn't even expect. So that's where you really have to stick to your guns with your contracts, how you do business, your personal boundaries within your business. And as long as you're consistent with that, even if that one person gives you a bad review, you're still consistent in being true to who you are
Mm-hmm.
because nobody can say, "Oh, he was like this with me. He was like that with this person. He was like this with this person." If you're consistent, then even if that person was 100% wrong, it doesn't matter because you're being consistent because two different people can perceive the same experience totally different. So that's how I've been kind of trying to navigate that and just sticking to my boundaries. Like an example, you'll have somebody say, "Hey, I just want all the raw files. Can I just have them? I'm not going to post them or anything. I just want to keep them." And me personally, I don't send out unedited images. Like you get the final edit, you get the final image. So I take photography as a business as well as it being a way of expression. It's an art form for me.
Mm-hmm.
So me just sending out the unedited pictures because you just asked for them, it's just like me giving you a blank canvas and saying, "Here you go." And or either just I just started on the canvas and I just hand it back to you. You say, "Oh, I don't need the whole thing. I just want the beginning part of it," and just
Mm-hmm.
it eats away at you because like that your final product is just not out there floating around for people to see what you're truly capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all of the things that I've been working with. Just honestly, like just being true to myself, setting my boundaries, and sticking to my guns, standing on business, as they like to say these days.
Standing on business law, no cap, for real, for real.
Yeah.
So my two-part question to this is the first one: since that you've been doing more for yourself, have you been seeing like a whole different result? And also, um, when you come up with these contracts, like how strategic do you have to be when forming it when you before you send it out to a client?
So the first part of your question is like me being able to be consistent with that. If I'm like that with one person and then their friend asks them how the experience was and I'm consistent with that, they're like, oh yeah, he's a great photographer. Like he's real professional. He doesn't play about like his work. So it's like if you set that standard with one person, the expectation is already out there for that next person that has asked about your work from somebody that's already worked with you. So
Mm,
it's like that's why I say it goes back to just being consistent with your business. And then of course you're going to make mistakes here and there. You could have handled the situation differently. You could have talked about it differently. But as you reflect and look back and then you grow within your business and develop your communication skills, like it just starts to become a fine-tuned machine. It's more consistent. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the contracts, that's where HoneyBook really shines because it has a lot of templates that you kind of give it a little bit of information and it already has those because it's made for photographers first. So
Mm,
all of the terminology, all of the legal terminology is already in like a contract template. And then you just plug and play different things. So like it's the same contract because I'm doing the same work for a portrait session as I'm doing for a wedding session. And then like portraits for me covers like a wide range of things. So maternity pictures, birthday pictures, headshots, all of those are still portraits. You know what I'm saying? The style is still the same. The only thing for me really different is like lifestyle and photojournalism. So since all of that for me is considered portraits, I still send you the same contract. And then I just take an intake form. I send that link out and then they give me that information and then it automatically kicks out that contract that sends it directly to that person and it just auto populates that information. So for me, I can send out like 10 contracts in like 5 minutes because all I need is that general information and then HoneyBook handles the rest of that information.
mm. And you said it's only for photographers or it's for everybody?
I tell people that makeup artists can use it, hairstylists can use anything where you're offering a service. You can kind of use it in a sense. It was made for photographers because like the people that made it are photographers. But
Mm,
like if, like I say, if you have any type of service based business, it's really good because your contracts, your invoices are all in the same place. Your information about clients is all in the same place. So like if I wanted to remarket to every single customer I've ever shot before, I have an email list already in HoneyBook, so I can just boom send out the one email to like 10 different people or 200 different people or 500 people, and somebody's going to hit on it. So it's like a very easy way to keep your marketing going and being consistent with that.
got you. So I look at it myself. I send out at least 100 plus emails a day based on trying to get interviews.
Right.
And hearing that, it sounds so much easier because again, like I'm putting in the work, I'm really putting in the hard work doing it. But it could be something so much simpler and like just go ahead and get it done right then and there. Because again, like I do work with the same people, like you know what I'm saying, like yourself, and just updating them on content, interviews, and all the other good job. Now hearing you finding an app and it works in your favor, like I hope something like that comes in my favor like that too, because I'm gonna definitely do my research on that. And with you being such a stickler for just making sure everything is good, let's say as far as like a perfectionist in a sense, like how is it that you consistently want to look for more things to, I guess, up your value with not only yourself but with your brand too?
Well, I'm not a perfectionist. I still have my flaws, totally just like everybody else. But one thing I'm always doing is like always absorbing information, whether that's from what I'm scrolling on Instagram. Like I'm looking at things that, okay, this person posted about a lighting technique. I might save that. Or somebody might post about marketing techniques, save that. So it's like in a sense, I'm mindlessly scrolling, but I kind of feel like the way I scroll through content or absorb content on social media, I cater my platform to be able to show me those things. So if you look through my explore page, you're going to see modeling, you're going to see photography, you're going to see marketing, branding, because that's what I'm searching. I'm always looking for something. And something I always like to tell people is like, if you're trying to make yourself better, if you have a business or any type of skill or craft, you have to get to the point where you can find things and learn things from things that aren't there. So
Mm,
like somebody might have cooking content channel, but I might see something in that cooking video. I'm like, wow, how did they set up their camera there? Or wow, what is that platform they're using? They have an email system. Let me see what that information is. So I'm looking for information in the information. Or like I've taken like education courses, you know what I'm saying? So I might kind of need that information from that education course. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I know in the future I want to set up my own education course. Let me go through the course and write down some ideas of how he set up his intake form, or how he set up his broadcasting, or what platform is he using to put up his videos and his content to be able to send it out to all of these people. Like, how is he taking payments? How is he doing his auto pay? So it's like staying curious and staying advantageous of the information that you do have, and then making use of that is going to make you progress as well. I recently just started back reading. I kind of like haven't really read a real book in like maybe like 5 or 6 years, you know what I'm saying? But two that I'm reading right now is the One Page Marketing Technique. I don't remember the author, but that one is a really good book where it tells you about how to set up your marketing plan. And then the other one I'm reading is called Profit First, and that one teaches you how to divide your money up from what you're getting, your intake, to paying yourself, to being able to set aside money for taxes and staying consistent with that system. And it's just like, I feel like I'm the type of person where it's like I absorb information passively, to where like, once I'm in that situation, I'm like, oh wait, I remember that I learned this or about something like that. So it helps me to be able to, regurgitate or use that in a real world situation. So that's why like I'm just always absorbing information, saving information, writing information down, writing ideas down in the notes section in my phone so I can reference back to it. And honestly, I can say like that's something that can help anybody progress no matter what you're trying to do.
Man, you be dropping hella gems, my brother. Like, for real, for real.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Nah, for real, my guy. Because again, I just want to let y'all know, my man said he's not a perfectionist. Now, he has flaws and stuff, but it's not a reason for him to not to find information that can help him along the way. Because we all have to do that sometimes, even when we want to get it from people, but most of the time we got to be able to look for it ourselves. Now, Now this year, I mean, of course, we still in January, about to go into February and whatnot. What type of February ideas that you have? Because you have Valentine's Day that's coming up, and then you also have couples that want to do things and stuff like that. Do you already have ideas in place that you want to do to, I guess, show more pictures and stuff like that, so you can put on your page and stuff so people can see?
Yeah, man. So one thing I started doing like last year, going into this year, what I'm planning to do in February, I'm already showing it in January. What I'm planning in March, I'm already showing it in February. You get what I'm saying? So one thing about social media and using it to your advantage is like you have to put yourself in the shoes of the person you're trying to attract. So like I have to think of, okay, what would somebody want to see that's going to get them to book a session with me? Or how many times do I have to show it before Instagram pushes it out? Because Instagram doesn't show all of your content to all of your followers. You can have let's say a simple number, 1,000 followers, and Instagram is only going to show your content to like 10%. That's like 100 people at a time. And then like, it's a numbers game of like, okay, what's the algorithm today? What's the algorithm tomorrow? Or if you get caught up in the algorithm, you're never going to progress because you're always chasing something that's going to always change. So the way I think about it is, if I know that on average, I'm only getting 10% of my content shown per post, then there's two ways to go about it. Increase your followers, so that way you're getting more eyes on it, or also posting more consistently in different formats, so that way you're also getting more eyes on it. So for February, I'm running a special right now. It's called the Candy Cupid Special. So I've been doing that for like the past 3 years, where it's like a mini session where people can come in and take Valentine's Day pictures, where it's like just because, couples, solos, whatever they want to do for Valentine's Day. And I'll start talking about it and promoting about it like the beginning of January. So that way from January all the way to February 1st, when I'm starting my session, I've talked about it at least like 10 times. So that way it's like people are constantly seeing that. Somebody that might have been on the fence the first time, by the 9th time, because you're staying in their ear, you're being consistent about it, they might be like, oh, I might actually want to do this. Or, you know what? I want to step out and do something different. Let me go ahead and book this session. And it works. I promise you it works, because using those marketing techniques I've been learning and reading about recently, like just from doing that and following up with people and asking people like, hey, if you're interested, I've been able to get some bookings from that. So I think I have about 6 people that have booked so far, and that made me about $13.50, so $350 just from posting about it, having a plan and like following through with that. So that's the biggest thing I've been doing, man. And that's how I would say that you want to think about anything that you're trying to plan. Like you should already be talking about it at least 3 or 4 weeks ahead. So like if I'm trying to do something in February, you need to be talking about it in March. I'm trying to do something like in June, I need to be talking about it in May. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like you're giving people enough time to see it. And once you find what works and you find what people are resonating with, just rinse and repeat and just change the central point of whatever you're trying to promote. So that's what's been working for me. And I'm just going to, keep building that and keep evolving that. Like I said, I'm not a perfectionist. So, even though like I might mess up or post something different or something may not work, I'll just try a different route and just, repurpose it and try to get better the next time.
Got you. Josh, man, can you let them know about, when you built this brand, and again, you took advice from people and you learned stuff and all this other type of stuff. But you per se, when you started going through the process, you learned a lot by going through it yourself. What do you say was like a major difference between you learning stuff from other people and you learning things just by going through the flow of the process?
So it's like you can have somebody teach you something or show you the way of how to do something. But if you don't take advantage of it, then nothing's going to really happen from that. So from when I got started, like I knew photography was something that I really wanted to do. And I had a great mentor early on. His name's Sam Garvin. Shout out to Blue Box Digital Media up in DC. So that's my mentor. Like that's my guy. Like he's the one that like you would keep it black and white with me. Like this is good. This is bad. Like if I needed to call him, like just to talk to him about a situation, he would like keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you was right. Or hey, you was wrong in that situation. So taking that base information and then expanding upon it and doing my own research, that's what I feel like helped me to grow within my craft. And outside of photography, like, I teach full time too. So like outside of me being a photographer, I feel like I'm also like an educator. Like that's another one of my callings. So it's like combining the two together and like you reverse and think about it. Like if you're good at teaching, you also can be good at learning. So like if you can really break something down to somebody, you can take that and put yourself on the other side and learn the same way that you teach. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's why my brain works. So it's like when people come and reach out to me about mentoring or being a student or something like that for photography, it's like a lot of people want the final answer, but not a lot of people willing to put in the work. So I'm going to send you. I'm like, all right, I need you to look up this first. Come back and tell me what you learned from that. And if you can't even do that, how do you expect me to help you get better? Because you're not even willing to do just one thing to look it up on your own to get better. So that's what I've always tried to do. It's like you can't. And then I've also had to learn that you can't expect people to have the same initiative that you have. So like I'm always trying to grow and learn and do different things and do things differently and see what works for me and then build upon that. And just being able to talk to different people and being able to learn from different people and never being too above anybody to think that you can't learn something from somebody else. Like there's always something that you can learn from somebody that you didn't know and apply it to what you do know and make that better.
My brother, as always, you let not only myself, but you let a lot of people know about a lot of information, and not to say you don't care, but you always care about the information that you're giving. We're giving to the people. When you feel like that you give, well, do you ever feel like that you give too much information to folks, or you just feel like, well, I said it. If they hear it, it's up to them to take it for how it is, and they can do something with it. So, do you ever try to preserve some of that, or you just don't mind being able to let them know like what it is about, like how they should go?
I feel like my character flaw is like if I can see and know that I can help you do something, I'm going to offer that help to you. So I'm like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 this is going to fix your problem. But what we have to realize is you can have the entire roadmap to learning how to make $5 million. If somebody isn't there to where they're willing to learn that information, they're going to take that as criticism. They're not going to take that as advice. They're going to take it as, oh, he thinks he knows everything. But like, I know I'm coming from a genuine place of like, I'm literally just trying to help you. Like, I'm not asking for anything. So I kind of had to reflect and learn that I can't always, or anybody, you can't always just offer your information, and you have to be there for people that are willing to accept it. But just from talking to a lot of people, and not everybody is being as receptive to information that I offer, that you just have to be there and waiting for people to want that information and reach out. So like on Instagram and social media and stuff, like I post a lot of information about like how to get better with photography or how to get better with modeling. So it's like free information, and I'll help anybody that reaches out as long as you're willing to put in the work. But I'm not going to keep pouring into you if like you're not willing to pour into yourself too. Like I feel like I'm an open book when it comes to information. Anybody that asks me a question and they're looking to get the answer from that, I don't mind helping. So I guess that kind of answers the question in a sense. It's like personally, I have to learn how to bite my tongue a lot. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to come off like, out of the blue, just saying, hey, this is going to fix your problems, even though I know it's going to fix your problems, but not saying I know everything. But I'm the type of person, I only speak on information I know for a fact I know what I'm talking about. So like I'm not going to just say something random, but it's usually coming from a genuine place of trying to help that person.
My man. And you said something about you don't want to pour something to somebody if you're not going to do it for yourself. And I think a lot of people are missing that. Investing in yourself is the main thing for you to have before you start to do other things. Why do you feel like a lot of people don't want to invest in themselves and want to have somebody else do it for them?
I just feel like it goes back to what I was saying before, that people are at different places with how they're ready or willing to receive information. So even with myself, like you can know where somebody needs to go to get to where they're trying to be. But if they're not ready to be in that position to learn that information, then maybe you got to wait. Maybe it's not their time. It's not the right time for them to learn that. So it might not be the right time for them to receive that. Same thing with myself. Like, I put off the whole marketing side of photography for a very, very long time because I was like, oh, my skills are going to get so good that people are just going to see my work and they're going to want to book. You can be the best person in the city, but if you don't have any marketing skills, then you're not going to make any money. Just like how you can be not the best photographer, but you can have amazing marketing skills and you're going to double, triple, make more money year after year, time after time. So I feel like that's the biggest reason why a lot of people don't progress, because they're either in their own way in the sense that they haven't invested in enough to be able to know what they don't know. And that kind of hinders a lot of people. But like, if you're hungry, if like you're willing to be ambitious and learn things and be open-minded and open to constructive criticism, you're going to grow 10 times faster than the next person that doesn't do all of those things.
Good shit. Because a lot of people kind of forget that, you have to really invest into yourself before somebody can be able to work with you, or you have to kind of know the business to understand how things is. Because like I say, as far as like artists, people who make music, they just think that, oh, I can just go in the studio and just make music and that's it. No, you got to understand about the beats, the engineers, shit, stuff taken care of and all the other good job. Because there's a lot of work, but at the same time, you don't want to have something good going on and something just pulls you back into where you first started. So how do you go about, researching the next people or organization, or come up with events and stuff that you want to be able to do before you go ahead and start executing on that type of work?
You mean like finding people to work with or clients and stuff like that?
Finding people to work with. I'm not gonna say necessarily clients because it kind of go back to how I first asked you about, working with people, but it's like actual folks that you really, really want to work with.
Okay. So I kind of just scroll through Instagram once again. I go and look at the photographers that I know, and it's like literally a rabbit hole that you can go down all day if you really sit down and do it. So if I follow a photographer and I look at a model that he shoots, and I'll look at a photographer that follows that model and look at the model that he shoots, and then look at that model's friends who follows her. And if she does photography and does modeling, and look at who shot her. And you see, it just keeps going, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just look at different people, and I try to keep my audience somewhere around the realm of creativity, photography, modeling, hairstyling, stuff like that. And just reach out to those people. So it's like I try to make an effort to talk to maybe like one or two, maybe 5 or 10, depending on how much time I have, new people a day. So if you know a hairstylist, I guarantee they know a photographer, or they might know a model. If you know a studio owner, 9 times out of 10, they know a photographer, or they're a photographer themselves. If you know a photographer, they know probably all of these people. And it's just like the network and web of people, like it never ends, because as long as you are constantly looking for someone, then you're going to find somebody to work with. Even like just scouting out talent out in public. Like I might be out looking and be like, hey, that person's got a nice look. You know, I like what they look. I have an idea that might go with how they look specifically. And then I might just walk up to that person and be like, hey, you know, how are you doing? My name's Josh, and I'm a photographer in the area. I just wanted to let you know that I think you would be great if we could work together and do a photo shoot together. They might say yes, they might say no. And I might give them my Instagram, and, you know, they might hit me up, they might not. But once again, if you have one person, 9 times out of 10, their friends are similar to them. So it's like as long as you're out there looking for people to work with, you're always going to find at least somebody.
That's why it's so important to network, and it's not something that you can just hold yourself, because you can't go on Instagram or any social media network and really pick apart and find people that you need, because there's really no excuse that you can't find people that can be able to help support your business, or people that you want to be able to work with. Now, right. Give me 3 things that you really want to attack this year in 2024.
So for 2024, I really want to be more consistent with my bookings, get better at my marketing, and get my studio up and running, and then just be able to rinse and repeat that same cycle. Because like a lot of things we talked about, it's all a numbers game. Like if you're specifically talking about social media, there are over 1 billion people on Instagram. You don't even need 1% of that billion people to have a 6-figure business. So like, even if you have 1,000 followers on Instagram and you have a product and you're charging $250 for that product, you only need 5 people to book out of those 1,000 followers that you have to make $1,000. Multiply that times 5, you got $5,000. So it's just like the more you pour into how you're marketing, you start to get more accurate. You start to get better at being able to find people that want to work with you. You start to build your network where more people are knowing about you. And then like, you know, that number is going to start to grow. So it's going to expand out beyond just social media and the internet. It's going to start being word of mouth. People, when they think of a photographer, you want them to think of your name first. When they think of, you know, the 804, you want them to think of your name first. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just like building that brand, and that notoriety comes along the way. But it's just like, if you really work your way backwards within the numbers game, it's like, it's inevitable that you're going to start to be successful.
Hey, Josh, man, can you please let them know where they can follow you at on all social media platforms, my brother?
Yes, sir. Once again, my name is Josh Cannon. You can find me on Instagram at Candid, CANNDID _productions with a Z. That's on Instagram. That's on TikTok. That's on Threads. Pretty much all the social media platforms. That's my name up there. Don't forget the 2 N's, so you won't find me.
No, for real, because I was struggling like hell to find him a couple times. Like, man, I can't find this dude. But Josh, man, every time I see you, man, I'm gonna always give you your flowers, because again, you're a very intelligent young brother. You always give good gems, and you just been very positive since the day I met you, my guy. And you always been willing to help, whether you reach out to folks or people reach out to you, man. Your phone has never ever been near you. So unless that you're working, but that's just another conversation. But my guy, I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for giving me some gems too, that I can be able to keep going along the way in my journey, my brother.
Yeah, man, no doubt. It's nothing but love, bro.
Yes, sir. And y'all make sure y'all go ahead and click that bell too on his page, so you can see more events that's dropping. Then he also got the February theme too well, he's doing already. I ain't gonna say coming up, because he's been doing it 3-4 weeks now. I'm sorry. But yeah, but
now before they get booked up.
Yeah, he working crazy too. So go ahead and follow him. And look, got more interviews coming soon, man. Tap in with my guy. More interviews coming with the Wave 804. Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Peace.
It's the wave.